Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and I said I was going to do a video about the custom skins for Gamedec. With the game's 5th anniversary coming up next month and the significant update including 2 new character skins, I thought I'd talk about exactly what a character skin is and is not for this game. And also give you a few extra details that aren't available in-game. It won't be that much. So firstly, we are provided with, 18 different character models to play with. Now, each of these it's interesting that this one is selected as the default skin. If you've played through the game to the end, you'll know why it's interesting that this one is selected as the default skin, because you literally do get to meet a character who looks like this later on in the game, much later. So generally they're divided into groups of 3, where you have a Caucasian character, an Asian character and an African version of the same character. And then we have these 3 women here, European, Oriental and African. And that's okay. We also have the character presets, or skins. I'll get back to those in a moment. Essentially, each of the character skins that exists can be recreated here, except for the precise physical appearance. You can change the name, the gender identity, and most importantly, the 4 dominant personality traits of red, yellow, green and blue. For instance, here we have 3 in yellow. You'll have 1 in each and then 2 more points that can go somewhere. In this case, both of them have gone into yellow. We have 2 red, 2 yellow, a green and a blue, 1 red, 2 yellow, 1 green, 2 blue, etc. And this covers most of the possible combinations. Now, the character skins come with a name, an age, a gender, a personality. This personality only refers to the combination of the 4 personality traits, and a character background. Additionally, some of these characters are DLC, free DLC in most cases. A few of them I think are paid for a very minimal, we're talking sort of microtransaction level prices here. And the ones who do not come with the game, because I think there's a couple, 2 or 3 who come with the game anyway, so that there's a reason for this menu to exist, so you don't just click an empty menu and go, oh, what do I do with this? Those who have an additional store product page have a character background that is sometimes different or expanded. Now, I've played with some of these a bit, and the personality is nice to give you an idea of how you might want to play the character, as is their background. But all of the information on this page, with the exception of the 4 starting abilities, will not affect your gameplay in any way whatsoever, except for what name people call you and if they call you a man or a woman. They are literally character skins. Now, I did say I'd go over these just so we can talk about them a bit. Oh, the other thing I wanted to make perfectly clear is that these 4, the spread of 4 starting abilities affects which professions you have available to you at the start of the game. However, I'm going to load a save here, which I made recently at the beginning of the game, because at the beginning of the game, in your apartment, you can go and check your computer. and check your emails, reply to emails. First message: Senator Stone was grateful for working out what his daughter was doing in Into the Dungeon 1337 or Leet. These three options grant you an ability point. Reply kindly gives green. Offer a discount for the next contract gives yellow. And offer some advice is red. There is no... Wait, no, that's blue. Sorry. Yeah, reply kindly is green. Offer some advice is red. Offer a discount on the next contract is blue, as I'm about to demonstrate. We have a new blue point. None of them offer a yellow point. This means that almost all of the pre-generated character skins can access all four of these at the beginning of the game if they so desire. Only 3 of the pre-generated characters who start with a single yellow point are restricted from gaining Infotainer immediately, and they have to work a bit for it. Let's just close this down, get back to the main menu, and I'll mention those characters when we come to them, okay? So this is just a overview of the pre-gens, so you can get a bit of an idea of what they're like, and the fact that they really don't affect gameplay that much, and it's up to you how you interpret this personality and character background and integrate it into your playthrough. So, Torkil Amor, or Amor. He's 40 years old, he's male, he's an idealist. He has yellow and green strong to begin with. He's a sensitive, slightly unstable idealist, an amateur of philosophy and whiskey, a doctor of medicine by education, a game deck by trade. He gained fame by solving a case on a virtuality show watched by millions. A popular movie, Doomday, features his fight against the beast in the net. But there's more. Because apparently, he's the main character. According to the Steam page, play as the main character from the Gamedec Saga by Marcin Sergiusz Przybylek. I'm not sure what the L with the diagonal line through it is. Here's an exclusive Torkil Amor skin. Torkil Amor is a game detective and lives in Warsaw City in the Komotu district, in the Stockholmville building, on the 342nd floor. Virtual realities, having reached a high degree of complexity both technologically and socially, give rise to problems. The principle of the system is that the people enclosed in it see poorly how it works, so they need the help of an outsider. They need Gamedec. Torkil receives orders from individuals, companies and forces that camouflage their identities. Sooner or later, Gamedec will have to deal with reality animators, not just virtual ones. In the meantime, he enjoys the company of friends, women, and his own dreams. Plenty of that is not featured here. So, with the exception of the fact that characters will mention you by name, it's not like people are going to be talking about you, someone will recognise you and be an old contractor or anything. These are literally very much blank, make your own out of them, whatever you will. There won't be any special lines of dialogue available to you, there won't be any side quests or subplots. It's just a skin, basically. We have Ishmael Kostov. He's 62 years old. Personality is born leader. He's strong on red and yellow. A veteran who spent most of his life serving on a Free Europe Army submarine. Despite vast technical knowledge, he couldn't find a job after returning to the mainland, chiefly due to his age. That pushed him to take matters into his own hands and become a Gamedec. His army days were over and he didn't want anyone telling him what to do or what to think. And then here we have meet Ishmael Krostov here. No, it is Krostov, not Kostov. My apologies. Meet Ishmael Krostov, a veteran who spent most of his life serving on a free Europe Army submarine. Despite vast technical knowledge, he couldn't find a job after returning to the mainland, chiefly due to his age. Yeah, in this case, it is... the rest of it is exactly the same, word for word. Of course, he looks a bit like Popeye the Sailor Man. He's got massive tattoos all down one arm. Then we have Daphne Bennett. She's 33 years old and enthusiastic. She has only one yellow, so she is one of the 3 characters who cannot start with the infotainer character background. Ever since she was a child, Daphne was fascinated with strange worlds which she travelled to by watching infolios and old Hollow movies. She wanted to satisfy her curiosity and hunger for adventure by joining the Outrangers, but her application was denied. Now she travels to strange worlds by lying down on a couch and realizes her childhood dream as a Gamedec. And the store blurb for her is word for word the same, just with Meet Daphne Bennett at the front. Kirk Anderson does not have a store page. He's one of the 3 characters who comes with the game. He's 31 years old, powerful personality, characterized by impatience, spontaneity. These are not forced, these are just traits that he has already used a bit that have built up that character personality. If you play him other ways, his character personality could change completely. Due to his worsening health condition, Kirk was expelled from the Outrangers. He was allowed to keep his armour, which relieves his physical pain and gains him the respect he always needed. Becoming a Gamedec is the only possible way to make sure that no one sees him as a failure, especially himself. So this is an interesting character, in theory. I mean, on paper he's just 2 yellow, 2 green, and that's it. So, infotainer or the medical one, I can't remember what it's called, it's Scalpel. But then you could get red or blue from the email at the beginning of the game, so he has access to everything. So, he's got a health condition. I like the fact that his armour relieves his pain. So it's like, I don't think it's just like soft padding so that he doesn't constantly bump into things and get hurt. I think it's actually got sort of medical nanobots or something working inside it to help soothe his condition. Next up, we have Teriel, a 35-year-old male character with the Dodger personality, 2 red, 2 blue. So he is the second character who cannot gain the infotainer starting profession, and he's the second character who doesn't have a background outside the game on a Steam store page, so he was also one of the 2 free characters who came with the game. Teriel, the main character from 7, The Day Is Long Gone, was brought to life as a Diginet. Adapting to the new reality wasn't easy. It changed when he became a Gamedec. Teriel uses his master thief skills and experience to solve cases, and he is good at it. Becoming the best is just a matter of time. Now, this doesn't tell you what a Diginet is. You learn in the game that a Diginet is like an AI personality that's created from someone after they die so they can continue their life. And I think the Diginet can be placed in a Mobrium, which is like a fake body that the Diginet walks around in, pretending to be human. None of that information is here, and, like Torquil, Teriel is a character from one of the novels in the series that the game was based on. going back to Torkill's thing blurb, main character from Gamedec Saga. I don't like playing someone else's character that has been created and established in a novel or a film or a play or something. Because I don't feel I could do that character justice. I will want to inject some of my own personality or thought or behaviour into them, and it wouldn't feel right to make the character act out of character in a way. And I feel that I would not know the character as well as its creator, and do not necessarily feel worthy to modify or mess about with the character. So I am unlikely to play Torkill or Teriel anytime soon. As I said, Teriel is the second character with Daphne who can't get the infotainer profession at the beginning. The third one would be Zaya Singh, who we'll get to in a little bit. The other thing is, this is a fake human. This is like a AI computer machine program running inside a sort of prosthetic robot body. The game will treat you as human. It won't treat you as a computer program. It won't make you... You will sleep instead of shutting down to process things or whatever, or rebooting. So that is the second issue I have of this game. The first one, it's the main character from a novel I haven't read. The second one is that this is a unique character with special things about them that make them not human, different to the others, which will not be taken into account at all by the game, which bothers me because you'd think this stuff might be important at some point. Tasha Diaz. She's 24. She's a realist, which means cynical and going, well, looking at it realistically, this is what we got to do. Strong red and yellow. Now, there's only so many combinations we can get between these four ability scores, so some are going to repeat. Looking at them, there is slightly more red and green and blue than yellow. Actually, I made notes on this because I was... all 6 characters... No. Where are we? Red, yellow, duplicate, looking at 4 scalpel, 5 infotainer, 4 sleeves and 3 glazier available among the starting characters. I think I noted down how many points of each colour is available as well. Somewhere. I made a lot of notes because I had a lot of time. But hey. So here we have scheming and pretending. That's what Tasha's the best at. Being an observant DJ in Low City's clubs gave her an invaluable experience in scams of any kind, and she's put these skills to good use as a game deck. There were no noble reasons for changing her line of work, just pragmatism, frills and money. It paid more, basically. And on the store page we have significantly more. When growing up in Low City, either you're disillusioned about the prospects of your future, or you dream big. Tasha Diaz belongs to the first group. No expectations means no disappointments. Since she was 16, Tasha has been playing in bars and nightclubs of Low City. Being a DJ in this pitiful part of Warsaw City wasn't the most lucrative way to earn money, but it was fun and had one solid perk: getting along with the club's owners. It allowed her to gain private access to the couches and helmets, and the virtual worlds became a pleasant distraction from the dark streets and dusty bars. It's also where she encountered a game deck for the first time in her life. Tasha was observing him, knowing how to blend into the background after years of watching the club's denizens, and started cracking the case on her own. She solved the mystery, unraveled the game deck scam in the process. Unraveling the game deck scam in the process, but Tasha chose not to take that information to the client. Instead, she met with the Gamedec, who offered her serious money to keep her mouth shut, and an internship. As the bills don't pay themselves, Tasha accepted the deal. Soon the DJ job turned into part-time, mainly for blowing off steam, and the Gamedec work was her main source of income. There were no noble reasons behind the decision and no pure aspiration to do good and help people. Tasha found she had a likely talent for this line of work, scheming, pretending, observing, and she likes it. So yeah, cynical, no problem with doing dodgy deals and corrupt stuff. Not the most honourable person, but she's a survivor, you know. Then we have Zaya Singh, a 35-year-old idealist. Red and green strong, which means she can't go in for Taina to begin with. Doesn't mean she has to, right? Righteous, hot-headed and stylish, Zaya is a rising star among Gamedecs. Banished from the biodome, where she grew up for crimes she did not commit, she now gets her thrills hunting criminals in sensory worlds. Now this sounds like she's a member of the A-Team. She framed for a crime she didn't commit. There's actually a lot more to it than that, as we will discover from her Steam page. Zaya was born in a cult, raised in the biodome in fear of sin and convinced that the end is nigh. She grew up to be a pious teenager. Her cleverness and zeal made her a good candidate for a future leader, until she discovered corruption among her elders. She was just a kid, self-righteous and hot-headed. She didn't play it right, and she lost. Accused of heresy and the same corruption she discovered, she was banished from her home. She tried to take her family with her, mother, father, 7 sisters, but they all turned away from her. Now, knowing the outside world, she ended up in Low City. She saw filth and sin with her own eyes, but she also saw friendship, loyalty, love, and, most importantly, freedom. Nothing embodied this freedom quite like Virtualia did. Thousands of worlds where you could be anyone and do anything. When she found out people were committing crimes there, she was furious. When she learned there was a job that let you hunt people who committed these crimes, she was sold. Now, she's quite a fun character to play. She looks pretty cool. Can't get Infotainer till about halfway through Twisted and Perverted. In Twisted and Perverted, you want Infotainer or sleeves quite early on. Zaya can grab sleeves early, but Infotainer is slightly better in Twisted and Perverted. The second game world, or third if you went to Paradise Beach first. For the sake of completeness, perhaps. Now, I have played through the game to the end with Zaya, and there are a few times where it felt as if I really needed to compromise her ideals to progress. It felt like something she would balk at, and there were options to behave more in line with her personality that felt like they would lead to severe failure, and she'd eventually have to give in anyway. I imagine that is the case with each of these characters, but then it's up to you to decide how much you want to embody the personality they come with, or not, as the case may be. And if you're wondering where her magnificent glorious hat is, it's on her back. I can't rotate the character here to show you. It never goes on her head, unfortunately. It always stays on her back. Here she looks a bit more like a cowboy, whereas her portrait looks more like some sort of vindictive witch hunter. And finally we have Kyle Fisher with a magnificent glorious ponytail. Makes him look like an actual horse or something. He's a 32-year-old con artist. Kyle creates demand for his own services. As a hacker, he creates a problem. As a game deck, he solves it. He sets up dominoes in the right place and knocks them over when the time's right. He's the puppet master in this virtual theatre. He is strong yellow and blue, meaning he has access to all 4 starting professions at the beginning of the game via the governor's email. And his additional background is as follows. Walktail not ringing? Email inbox empty apart from advertisements for enlarging your IQ? For someone like Kyle, the term unemployment doesn't appear in the dictionary. If there's no case to crack, he'll make one happen, creating demand for his own services. Some would say it's pragmatic and smart, but some will call it questionable, unethical even. So the goal is to make it look natural, create circumstances no one would question, set up the dominoes in the right place and knock them over at the right time. Kyle knows how to handle that. Extortions, forging evidence, and believable acting in front of a judgmental audience are in his blood. He transferred his low city experience into sensory worlds. He's a magician of virtualia, able to turn invisible or make everyone aware of his presence when needed. Being a con artist on the streets of the low city was fun and profitable, even when he was a kid. But with time it all became too easy and he needed a new level of complication. So he started learning how to code, hack and find potential holes in software. He's become a puppet master in his own virtual little theatre. He pulls the binary strings and creates the reality he wants. Are you ready to join him? Because it's hacking time! This sounds like the kind of man who, in the 1920s, 30s, 40s and 50s, would go around throwing bricks through windows, then knock on the front door and advertise his window repair service. Yes, people literally would do that. And they'd even be a bit threatening about it sometimes because, hey, your window's broken, you need a new window, I can fix it. I was just happened to be passing by and I noticed, oh, your window's got smashed, says the guy who lobbed a brick through it 5 or 10 minutes ago. Yeah, it'd be a shame if it happened to all the rest of your windows, wouldn't it? Why don't I fix that one now before people think it's a derelict building and decide to smash all the other ones too or something? Yeah. So now we'll have a quick little look at the 4 potential upcoming characters. 2 of whom who will become free characters, and I'm not sure all 4 designs are strong enough for the developers to make the 2 most popular ones and then look at the others and go, okay, let's make these ones paid and the others were free. So I'm not sure we'll be seeing all 4 of them. There's 2 men and 2 women, and the women have proved to be very popular in the polls. Personally, I like one of the men as well. The other one doesn't quite land for me visually. So, we have Leora Serrano, Sensory World Scenographer. She's a 30-year-old improviser. Leora designed sensory worlds in which every colour, texture and sound could trigger a carefully selected emotion. She left the industry after discovering that one of her creations was being used to manipulate players. As a game deck, she notices hidden intentions where others see nothing more than spectacular decoration. I would suspect with Improviser, yellow and either blue or green. So my guess is yellow and green, but maybe yellow and blue for her. And I'd say at least 3 of these coming across as having strong yellow, which would help balance out the slight yellow deficit in the pre-gens. We have Noah Quist, a high city mediator. He's a 28-year-old diplomat. A former high city mediator trained to recognize emotions, deception and subtle coercion. Noah lost his license after refusing to reconcile a victim with the corporation responsible for their suffering. As a game deck, he searches for solutions that allow everyone to walk away, even if he must first dismantle a carefully maintained lie. So, I strongly suspect definitely green for the emotional empathy and being a good listener. Maybe blue. So maybe green and blue more than green and red or green and yellow. would be my guess for him. We have Mara Vysoka, a memory profiler. She's a 41-year-old inquisitive character. Interestingly, I'd say her concept art looks less inquisitive and more kind of appraising, sort of calmly appraising something. But she's proved to be, you know, her and the other girl have proved to be the most popular, but her, by far, she seems to get more votes than anyone else. Mara spent years reconstructing memories for Warsaw City corporations until she discovered that someone else's mind could be the perfect crime scene. She resigned after a case in which the truth was legally erased. As a Gamedec, she trusts evidence more than people, although she is beginning to question her own memories as well. My guess is she might be red and blue. Definitely blue, maybe a different colour instead of red, but I'm thinking possibly red and blue for her. Not sure. And then finally, Miro St. Clair, the V-celebrity crisis fixer. So I don't think he's a virtual celebrity, but rather he fixes things for virtual celebrities, or he might be one. He looks like a member of the Scooby-Doo gang. I'm not sure which one, I can't remember, I'm not very familiar with him. Not the tall ginger one, the other guy, the blonde man. He's a 26-year-old chameleon. Miro managed scandals for the most influential celebrities of the Virtualia. He can manufacture a convincing identity, destroy a reputation, or find the person hiding behind 100 avatars. After one assignment condemned an innocent client to digital exile, Miro abandoned his powerful employers. He now uses his knowledge of deception to uncover the truth. For me, he seems possibly a little too close to Kyle Fisher. In terms of sort of concept or skill set. I imagine definitely blue and one other colour. Not sure what, but here we have blue and yellow. Looking at the presets in general, there's a slight deficit of green and blue, but most of these for new characters sound like they'll have blue featuring quite strongly, so that would help address the balance. Now, I haven't actually voted for any of the characters, but I've observed the voting, and the two women seem to be getting the most of the votes, with the older woman getting far more. Her grey streak in her hair does look quite appealing and interesting. You know, gives like characterful, right? Makes her look different. I'll just have to wait and see what comes out next month, I suppose. When the update does drop, I might start a playthrough on the channel, I might not. I put up the old episodes I recorded. First one got a decent amount of views, second one tailed off a bit, so we'll see. If you'd like to see me play the game when the update drops, let me know in the comment section down below, and hey, if you think I shouldn't waste my time with it, feel free to also let me know in the comment section down below. That's kind of what it's there for, plus any other comments you want to leave, really. And if you know why this character is important later on in the game, please don't let people know, because it's a bit of a spoiler for the late end game. It's funny that they can let you play as this character though, which will be probably not even acknowledged when you meet this character later on. It'll be like, oh hey, you got my skin. No, won't even mention it, you know. But there we are. So yeah, if you know about this guy, keep it to yourself for a while, because there might be people viewing who don't. And if you don't know, maybe you'd like to. Maybe you'd like to see me play. Again, I don't mind. Let me know. And I'll see how I feel and what sort of replies and responses I get when we get to next month. Anyway, that's been a quick overview of the pre-generated characters for this game, which I said I'd do as a third video in this little mini-series. And hope you've enjoyed watching. I'll say goodbye for now, everybody, and watch out for all that dodgy digital ID and age verification stuff that seems to be coming to Gamedec and Cyberpunk and Shadowrun at the moment. It does feel like the giant corporations want to own your soul.